If I took a right here,
Well,
and if I cut it up into 78 pieces, what would I have? I'd have the same stupid piece of It's irrelevant.
So it doesn't
it's
matter.
cut up into 78 different pieces.
This ultra-extreme MAGA man has some shit on his mind. But I'm not sure it has much to do with the question he was asked about Trump's legal troubles.
What happens?
I mean, was he right about everything?
No, my question is,
Trump was right about everything.
so what if he's convicted? Would you still vote for him?
Absolutely. Convicted of what?
Is there any of the 78 charges that he's facing felonies? Would you still vote for him?
If I took a right here,
Well,
and if I cut it up into 78 pieces, what would I have? I'd have the same stupid piece of It's irrelevant.
So it doesn't
it's
matter.
cut up into 78 different pieces.
What if you personally witnessed him commit a crime and then he was convicted? Would you then vote for him?
Like if he had Don Jr. working for a natural gas company,
No, I'm
making
asking you,
$80,000
is there
a month,
any,
and then started
is
a
there
war in Ukraine?
under any circumstance would you not vote for him, I guess is the
No,
question.
absolutely not. Because he's a proven track record. He's a perfect president. He's an American hero, and he's the greatest thing that's ever happened to the American political system.
This mega MAGA Trump supporters definitely read about one thing that Trump has a proven track record on.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. My people stay.
And they also sit, roll over, beg, and commit acts of violence on command. It's pretty amazing, actually. And see, it's insulting when I say it, but inspirational when Trump tells his supporters that they're brainless and willing to follow him off of a cliff. But he doesn't even do it alone. In order to convince people like this that all the charges are automatically invalid, MAGA has produced elected officials like Marjorie Taylor Greene to provide the same empty arguments for them to recite.
He's being indicted for saying the election was stolen. You know who else said the election was stolen? Hillary Clinton said the election was stolen. And then everybody parroted her talking points. Stacey Abrams said her election was stolen as running for governor here in Georgia. And then everybody parroted her talking points.
It's the same lie that was peddled on Fox News, with the assumption that their viewers have no desire to read what's in the indictment or even a recap of what's in the indictment. So let me help you. Legal experts and the indictment itself said that while Trump has the right to lie about the results of the 2020 election, steps beyond just statements, such as orchestrating sets of false electors, move beyond the protections of the First Amendment. The defendant had a right, like every American, to speak publicly about the election and even to claim, falsely, that there had been an outcome-determinative fraud during the election and that he had won, is what the indictment states. The indictment, which charges Trump with conspiracy, obstructing an official proceeding, fraud against the United States, and a conspiracy to deprive people of the right to vote, focuses on steps the former president took beyond just speech. But Trump voters are conditioned to believe that he's the Messiah, so facts are useless, and as more reputable charges come down on him, they've also been conditioned to resort to rage and violence.
Said that 53% of Americans would be okay with the pardon for the documents case because they just want a truce, including 30% of Democrats. I think there are a lot of people who are very concerned about where this leads and whether it actually will tear down our institutions as a result of criminalizing basic things like free speech and debate about elections.
I don't want a truce, Katie.
I know you
I
don't.
want
I'm not
revenge.
Fox News comedians that laugh and endorse MAGA's bloodthirst doesn't make it any less effective when radicalizing their audience, especially since that there are also pundits that openly advocate for armed violence in the name of MAGA, like Anna Perez did right here.
Here's the reality. The revolution was an insurrection. What else would it be? And what happened is people stood up against the tyrants that were basically controlling their every move. You had all of these intolerable acts. They were taxed to death over tea, over a slew of other things. They decided to take up arms against the government. They formed militias in their communities, and they took up arms against the most powerful military in the world. Are we not living under very similar circumstances here in America? Does this not call for the same, if not a similar response to that situation? Why else would we have a Second Amendment? They specifically put the Second Amendment in there because we didn't ever want to have to come to this point, to be quite honest. I'm not calling for violence. I'm not a violent person. What I'm calling for is for people to realize that there is a Second Amendment for a reason.
No. She's not calling for violence at all. She's just suggesting that conservatives should do the same thing American colonizers did, form militias in their communities, take up arms against the government because the democracy that barely survived their most recent attack on it is still around. What's the point of these non-violence disclaimers when you just said what you said you didn't say? These are all just the elements of the ultra-extreme MAGA party that's flexing their insular muscles without realizing one very big, obvious truth.
My former political party is a cult. I'm not the only one who's said that. But it says that my former political party, the voters in that party, Christiana, are completely radicalized. I can't emphasize this enough because I speak to Republican voters every day because, as you rightly recognized, I come from the base. And to them, he can do no wrong. I mean, he can do no wrong. They crossed that bridge a while ago. They consider him to be a victim.
And this is the proof.
This is a proven track record. He's a perfect president. He's an American hero, and he's the greatest thing that's ever happened to the American political system.